How's it going, everyone? We're here for round 36 of Rust Twitch drops, and this time it is Twitch Rivals Rust Team Battle 5. And yeah, it's going to be going on between December 9th and the 13th. And for your actual local time, if you click on the link and go to the Twitch page, it'll show your local time. As of right here, it shows in Mountain Standard, which is my time. Or you can just ignore that and do the literal countdown to the seconds, which is always updating there on the page. What you want to do is sign in and connect to your account. And we have 4 generic drops running from 1 to 4 hours. If you're new, generic drops means you can watch anybody to unlock these. But if you're watching one of the streamers below, you'll have to unlock their drop before it starts making progress at these. They do not earn at the same time. But if you click on the actual item itself, it'll take you to a list of eligible people. Then we have the streamer-specific drops. We have 2 that are specifically for Twitch Rivals. They're 2 and 4 hours specifically. And then the rest are going to be all of a 2-team for 2 hours. So there you have that. So let's go ahead, jump into the game, and take a look at how these look actually in-game. And then also, if you're new and need some help, I do have a tutorial at the end after we look at the skins. So you can skip to that there if you need to as well. Alright, so first up at 1 hour for the generic drops, we've got the Rustoria vending machine. And as you can see, it's got a bunch of like exposed circuitry, kind of like it is a server, so to look. And then you've got the Rustoria branding there on the top and their colors here along the sides. Not too much going on along the back. If we do kill the lights, you can see a faint glow that comes through, and the sides do glow, but no glow on the actual back panel, so to say. Then next up we have the Rustoria backpack. As you'll see, it has some of that kind of color fade here on the straps and buttons. As you come along the side, you can see the color a little bit more. Then the print here has kind of Rustoria, like a fancy bag. You've got the little Rustoria actual printing. There's little buttons with the color and everything there. So it is, a fairly dark backpack. It could blend in mostly, except for a little bit of the rainbow coloring there. But this is going to be your 2-hour generic watch drop. Next up, we have the Rivals High Qual set. These are going to be your 3 and 4 hour marks. So 3 hours is going to be the metal face mask here. And it's meant to kind of have like a toy look to it. Kind of like almost maybe it's been colored in with a marker or something like that. There's even like kind of like paint drips and stuff like that here and there if you look. And if we come down to the chest piece, like I said, this is going to be your 4-hour generic. You can see the little Rivals thing there. And yeah, the whole thing just kind of looks beat up and painted. And there you have it. So I feel like it has kind of like a handmade paintball armor feel, but it was made out of like old hockey gear or something like that. Then moving on to our streamer-specific drops, our first one here is going to be, well, actually our first 2 are going to be from Twitch Rivals. So specifically, you have to watch the Twitch Rivals channel for 2 hours, and you can unlock yourself this bag. As you can see, it has a very kind of like shiny look to it. And there you go. As we come around, there's little buttons, there's a flower, and an Alistair, and Twitch Rivals. So there you have it, 2 hours specific Twitch Rivals channel. Then your second Twitch Rivals is going to be 4 hours and watching for this jacket here. And as you can see, it basically looks like a sports coat. As you can see, the Twitch Rivals Battle Team 5. Whole thing's kind of dirty and mucky and messed up. And then you can see some stitching and so forth. Definitely looks very kind of handmade. Fits right into Rust. And there you have it, 4 hours for Twitch Rivals. Our next streamer-specific drop is going to be for 2 streamers. You can either watch xxxTheFocusxxx or Storks. And that's basically, you can see you've got characters here, and I believe these would be their 2 kind of like animated characters. They do have some arsenal going on. There's a nice rust hammer, and you've got yourself a rocket launcher, some bean can grenades, and so forth. And yeah, I definitely think it has a cool little design that some people will definitely appreciate. Then if we go ahead and kill the lights, it actually has a really cool glow. I think they did an amazing job on it. I really like the kind of puff in the background of smoke or cloud, whatever that may be. It just really looks quite nice. And there's sparks and so forth. They just did a great job on it. Next up, you can watch for 2 hours either Wiljum or Sinks, and you can get yourself the Wiljum jacket. This goes along to continue with some of the other skins he's had. As you can see, his branding is right there. Has that kind of polar bear pelt look to it. And then you've got these skulls on the side, which add a little kind of like tribal look to it. And altogether, it mostly pretty well blends into the snow. So this could definitely be used to do a little bit of snow hiding. There's a bit of red on it, but honestly, still does quite well for that. So I can see a lot of people liking that just for the fact of that alone. Next up, we have a weapon for you, and it's going to be Oilrats and Riqqeloff, and you can watch them for the Oilrats Mp5. And this thing looks really cool. The whole thing looks like it's made out of a chunk of jade. There's like crystals popping on and off of it. And then if you take a look down the sight, it has this crazy cut sight, and then the parts that are left actually look like jagged crystal, and I think that's one of the most unique uses of a sight so far. I think this is just absolutely really, really cool. Next up, we have a garage door for you, and it's a goofy one. It's the NoraExplorer and Coconut Bee combo garage door, and as you can see, there's a bunch of Pepes working at a recycler. They also seem to be recycling, I think, is that Nora's character? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans going on. It's definitely a very silly garage door, which just kind of fits with their mannerisms and honestly with their audience as well. If we go ahead and kill the lights, you can see it actually has a very cool glow to it. Definitely makes it look like a much more sinister kind of scene. Next up, for 2 hours watch of Nikof or Elamade, there's this Nikof Gold AK for you. Whole thing seems to be made out of pretty much solid gold. There are some black highlights, a nice rubber grip, and then you've got a flag down on the mag for you right there. Definitely has some nice little designs to it. It's not just a flat, solid, shiny gold, and I think that breaks up nicely. Aiming, I also like the only headshots right there, if you can see that. Then aiming down the sights, it does have a very, very custom sight, so this is going to be another big one for a lot of people. So there we go for that reload, and one more look at that sight. Then next off, for 2 hours of watching either Mendo or Devwinga, you can get yourselves the Red Team or Team Rocket rocket launcher. So there you go. As you can tell, it is very red. It also tells you where to put the rocket and where the front and the back is, just in case you didn't know. It has their kind of Team Rocket little symbol right there. Aiming down the sights, you can see there's a nice little X to help you with the red target there. And when you open it up, there's actually this kind of purple galaxy thing going on for you right there. If we go ahead, shoot it off, kill the lights, I think the question is going to be, when you reload, does it glow? And it definitely does. You can see that purple right there. And it also has kind of a glow sight, I guess, but it's a rocket launcher, so does that even matter? I don't know. How does everybody feel about that there? Next up, we have a sheet metal door for you. It has a very cool military-esque look to it. Again, it's going to be 2 hours, and you can watch Krolay or JL Franklin. So as you can see here, it does have a transparent window, and you can see my character hanging out back there with the rocket launcher we just looked at. So you can kind of see the height there. It's kind of like chest height, so to say. Also has a very nice kind of fluorescent glow going to it. So if we kill the lights here, you can see the kind of fluorescent glow really kind of goes out through the top of it the most, but it also trickles down through the bottom with a nice fine little highlight, as well as the little logo, which is quite nice. Next, we have the Dilanzito and Lauta Thompson. I hope I'm saying their names right there. And yeah, this whole thing looks like it's made out of marble, which is quite cool. And then you can see the other pieces, like the front barrel is like apparently hollowed out rebar or something like that, which is a crazy idea. But hey, it just fits with the look of Rust. And if you go ahead and aim down the sights, it has custom cut sight, as you can see that, with a nice little red tip to it as well. So there we go, 2 hours watch time, of course, with this one. Next, we have a SAP for you, and this one is 2 hours of watch time with either Dhalucard or Captain Maiko, sorry, excuse me there. And as you can see, it has this cool kind of like flame look to it in the front. Very kind of simple design, very clean look to the SAP. Aiming down the sights here, it also has custom sights. Man, so many custom sights going on, and a nice little orange tip. And when you load the mag, the whole thing is just a bright yellow color, which I didn't quite expect. So there we have it for the SAP. Last but not least, we do have another vending machine for you, and it is the Blooprint vending machine. You can watch either Blooprint or June to unlock this one, 2 hours just like the rest. And as you can see, it has like a little bear sign, some bear attacks, and of course it is blue. It has a Blueprint's name up in neon. And then you can see there's various guns and stuff, kind of, you know, you've got a little bit of various very useful guns there for sale. And if we go ahead and take a look at the back here, you'll see that it says loaded. It has a little Blueprint bear logo there. And if we kill the lights, you'll see it just has this really nice back glow to it, which I think will make a lot of people quite happy. And you can see the sides do have a little glow at the bottom, and we can take a nice look at the front glow right there. But that's going to do it. If you need some help, there's a tutorial part that runs after this. If not, you can go ahead and leave us right here. And to that, I say stay rusty. If not, stay tuned and go ahead and watch that part, and we'll see you next time. Alright, so if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you're probably new to Twitch drops and maybe how they work, or you might be having some kind of problems. The website has changed quite a bit, so there's some things to really look at here. You can kind of see the dates, so if something seems out of date, I'm going to try to update this every so often. And yeah, with this one, we've got a few things here. So, first off, you're going to have at the Twitch page, it's always going to be the same, and you have Twitch drops, connect account, and buy Rust here at the top. If you scroll down, if there's a current campaign, you'll see it, and when it's about to start, then you have a big connect accounts button, and down here there should be the drops for the events. Now, how they typically tend to work is there's usually generic drops, and what a generic drop is, it means that anybody streaming Rust that has drops enabled on their channel can be watched to earn these. Now, there's also specific drops, and if you're watching someone who has a specific drop, you will have to finish that specific drop before you can start these generic drops. So that's something that usually confuses people quite a bit. The nice thing about generic drops is they do count towards each other. So if you watch an hour into this, that's an hour towards this, the 2 hours of this towards that, etc., and they build on each other. Now with streamer specific drops, you have to watch the listed channel. As you can see here, there are specific listed channels with them. In this case, for this event, the host Twitch Rivals has 2. And then you can see sometimes they have multiple streamers. Then you'll also see that there's an indicator showing whether or not they're online. Nothing here means online. Red dot means they are online. And if you go ahead and click on the button, it will actually take you to the channel that is live, which is nice. So then let's cover a couple things. I mean, you can literally just read it down here in the FAQ yourself. And basically this kind of explains what I just said about the drops. Is there a way to check your drop progress? And yes, there is. There's a Twitch drops inventory page, which we'll take a look at in a second. Can you earn them faster by watching more than one channel at once, or having multiple windows open, or anything like that in different browsers? No, you can't. It will notice your Twitch account, and it will say, oh, no, you can only do one at a time. That is a restriction placed by Twitch. How long does it take for them to show up in your inventory? It can usually take about 10 minutes or so, but if not, there is a button, which will show you how to help with that. Do you need Twitch Prime? The answer is no, you do not need Twitch Prime, but you do need a Twitch account, a Steam account, and that Steam account needs to have Rust in its library. If you don't have access to the account, what do? You can unlink it, which will show you how to do that, and link your new account. If you haven't yet bought Rust, but you want to claim the drops, what you can do is you can at least link it and claim them, and once you have Rust within 180 days, you can claim them. So that is something right there. And then sometimes they do crates, and we can cover that kind of thing, but it's kind of its own thing. It doesn't really happen too often. So if we go ahead and scroll back up here and we hit connect accounts, you're going to get brought to this screen which says pair accounts, and you're going to need to pair both your Steam and your Twitch. Now when I click one of these, it's just automatically going to go with it. Boom. And so once you're done here, you should see successfully paired, and then you should see your Steam account with the proper Steam account. This is the Steam account you want the drops to go to. And then the Twitch account, this should be the Twitch account that you're going to be earning them on. If this is wrong, you simply hit the unlink account button and start over. This is the same button that was mentioned. If you have a wrong account, you can hit unlink, and then you can start the linking process again. There's also log out, which will just log you out of being in here. And then for the missing drops, like I said, there's a check for missing drops button right here. When you hit this, it should do a refresh, and it should say attempting to give your Steam library account 14 drops with 1 drop, 0 drop, no drops, something like that. And basically, it just tries to refresh the last drops, and they should go ahead and pop into your inventory. So then the other thing that we're asking about, or well, we're talking about, was how do you check the progress? And so it's going to be the drops inventory. And once you go there, you're going to see that it pops on up here, and you'll have all your progress with which ones you have, if they're unlocked or not. And as you're working on them, it will show the progress there as well. You can also go onto here and look through campaigns and manually look up Rust if you want to, but it's much easier to use the Twitch page that we just previously showed you. But that should pretty much cover everything. If you have any other kind of comments or concerns or something just doesn't seem to be working, leave me a comment. I'll try to get back to you as best I can. Hopefully this helped everybody with their questions. Thanks for watching, and stay rusty.